to the First Issue Club podcast. We're your weekly reading club for first issues, the special place where, just like Sue Storm, we love a good read. We're riffing here. I'm coming hot off the cuff.
Wow, good folio.
Oh God, the humanity! Somebody help me!
I closed the door.
Oh, wow. Bravo.
Thank you.
We're back. We're going to do the same thing we always do if this is your first time listening to the show. Hey, the intro said a little bit. Let me fill in the gaps.
Let me finish off this Mad Lib.
It isn't, sometimes when you're reading comic books, isn't that the place where the story really happens? It's kind of in between the panels, in between the words.
The words
like
that
jazz. It's just like,
no more jazz. No more jazz.
Okay,
Jazz in my face.
We'll take a break on the jazz metaphors. The idea is we're talking about first issues each and every week so we can have an accessible reading club conversation with you all. Mm-hmm. You'll see some of the titles of the books that we're covering in the show title, and we're just going to have a chat about what we thought about the book and what happens in it, yada, yada. You don't have to have read the books to follow along. Sometimes it's a good place to get recommendations, and that's awesome. We're also going to talk some industry news related to comic books and the medium and nerd stuff, sometimes movies too. We've also got a Patreon. If you listen to this and you can't get enough, there's a bonus episode waiting for you for the low price of $3.99 a month, an episode a week. That's the intro spiel.
This is very good.
I'm taking a breath now. I'm going to have a sip of my Fernet.
You and that Fernet.
I do like it.
Digestive.
I do feel like if you asked most people to name a hipster douchebag drink, Fernet's at the top of a lot of people's
You're
lists.
the only person I know that has drank it.
This is the first time in my 35 years I've heard the word Fernet.
Is that right?
Yes.
I think there's a lot of people rolling their eyes at old Mike D of the First Issue Club.
Maybe we hang out in different
sipping on this.
clubs.
But
I thought you were sipping brandy.
No. That'd be
I thought that was Kool-Aid.
much cooler. I say give me a pass because I am second generation Italian. We grew up with this stuff. We drink it, along with our desserts, all that good stuff. So
Is it alcoholic?
I need my kind of menthol liqueur. Yes,
is it Malort also a digestif?
I don't know that about Malort.
Yeah, I think Milwaukee's best is too.
Explain Malort, because I think that's a very regional thing.
I think is a prank. It's from Chicago.
It's not from Chicago, but that's where it's.
I thought it was.
Big air quotes popular.
I thought it was made
I'll
in
tell you
Chicago.
What, it's not popular anywhere else.
Yeah.
That's the only place I've ever had.
I think it has to be like exported from Chicago because nowhere else will sell it.
No.
Can I buy Malort here in Kansas City?
Yeah, for sure.
Nope. Folks, forget banning books.
Malort.
Let's go break Malort bottles in the streets. It's a terrible liqueur that does not taste good and is meant to make your friends
hate you,
writhe in pain when they drink it. Like you make a terrible face when you drink it. And it's apparently a Swedish drink.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Flavored with anise or wormwood.
It's anise, which anise has like a licorice flavor.
Yeah, the black licorice is anise.
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
Which I honestly like.
Have you never had it then?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever tried it.
In
no.
C2E2, we went to a bar and the guy was like, "Do you want a Chicago handshake?" And I was like, "Careful, my wife's here." And he goes, "No, it's an old style and a shot of Malort."
Old style Malort.
And
why did he ask you? Because you already ordered an old
and
style?
one of the two, I did, because I'm cheap and I'm got a good palate.
So it is made in Chicago, but it's a Swedish.
Carl Jepsen, a
Carly Rae
Swedish
Jepsen company.
Carly Rae Jepsen.
I'm not going to read this because I will not be able to get through it with
with me.
Greg chiming in with jokes every
With old
5
Yucca Duck
seconds.
over here.
Okay, if you want to learn more about Malort, search
Go somewhere else.
Yeah, Google it yourself. All right, let's talk about comic book news, if we even have any.
Only thing I know is Deadpool 3 stopped or finished filming.
Finished film. Oh,
Stopped
is
filming.
a whole different thing.
They're
than
done.
finished. Yeah.
They said no way. And I mean, Fall of X is still happening. We're waiting for the beginning of the new X era. We're still riding high off the Jason Aaron TMNT stuff. Not a whole lot is really cooking yet.
No earth-shaking news.
Yeah.
Wow. How about that?
So we get to go right into comic books.
Vic is stumped, and we're going to go right into comic books. Well, we better have some tangents to go off on during these comic book conversations.
I think people love our 20-minute episodes. Short and sweet.
We could talk about Malort some more.
Nah, we'll have to do a Malort taste test on the Patreon. Soon.
Hell yeah.
Sure. Fair enough.
All right. I'll go first.
Do it.
Since I'm the only one with comics on the table.
Yeah, I'm a digital
But-
guy for these episodes.
Greg and I both read Ghost Machine, but I'll start with Crashdown, which is on Whatnot Publishing, but it's a massive book, which is Sean Gordon Murphy's imprint, right?
And I think that T, is it like a Temple Smith thing?
That's Temple Smith's logo.
Okay.
So he did the art.
Are all massive books on Whatnot?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Plot
I had no
Holes is
idea.
for sure.
Okay. That's the only other one I know of is Plot Holes.
Yeah. I don't know if Zorro is Whatnot,
It's not.
but it was a Kickstarter thing.
Okay.
Anyway,
You mean Dirt Bike Zorro?
Dirt Bike Zorro.
I can go grab. I'm a proud owner of that copy.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you, Vargas.
So I read Crashdown. It's by Comic Tom
Oh my God, it
Garcia.
says Comic Tom on the fucking cover.
Yeah, Greg's not a fan of this guy. I'd never heard of him before.
He's just a lot.
Apparently he's
I'm staying out of this.
Coming from me.
I'm exuding positivity from this corner of the podcast.
apparently he's a YouTuber, a spec guy.
Yeah, he's like just a influencer in the comic book community.
Boo.
I will say, I do have a hard time with a lot of comic book influencers because a lot of the conversation seems to be surrounding like, hey, do you want to rip off a bunch of people who like are in the fandom?
There is that undertone to it. It's weird.
Right.
Because
It does become about like money and selling things and like, man, unload these now, guys,
Yeah.
because and let all the idiots buy them because in a couple weeks it's not going to be worth that much. And it's like, where are those idiots?
Yeah.
Like-
I'm the idiot. And then it's just like what they talk about when they buy like a someone's collection. They're just like, I got this on the cheap. And you're just like, you're talking about how you just fucked over somebody.
Yeah, I don't like that part of
Like,
it.
that's not cool.
Yeah,
Like, way to brag about like buying something for way cheaper than it should be.
totally.
And that person's probably watching the video just like, aw.
I mean,
like,
we're all excited about getting deals, especially when you're like long box diving at a used bookstore or something that it's
Yeah.
like this is a chain or a place like a vintage stock.
Yeah.
It's like good on you if
Yeah.
you find like $100
Yeah.
book for like $1.
It's like stealing gum from Walmart. Who's it hurting?
Yeah, right. Yeah, but
But if you're like buying some guy's
Yeah,
collection
you
and
suck-
he doesn't know what he has,
you,
and
you sucker a widow out of like
yeah.
some guy's like
This
amazing,
is the extreme
amazing
example.
collection. Well,
Some poor widow comes to you.
we say that, but these are like how many large comic retailers and resellers go to estate sales. A
Yeah.
lot of the time, it's people trying to unload these things, and
Yeah.
if you don't have anyone else bidding against you at an estate sale, you're buying a huge comic book collection very cheap.
And I'm sure a lot of people at home are listening going, yeah.
I would've done
You-
that too.
You guys say this now. We put our money where our mouth is. Mike D once had a comic mailed to him incorrectly. It was a first appearance of Deadpool.
Oh yeah,
Slabbed. And what did he do? He mailed it back like a good person.
I did the right thing.
Against my wishes. You mailed it back.
Yeah, that hurt.
So, we do practice what we preach, folks.
I emailed them and I was like, any chance I won a contest or something?
Before I tell you what you did, Is there any chance I'm like the 18th customer, or like my name was pulled from a hat?
Yeah, right.
Andy, tell us how this book was.
Oh, I was going to say sub to our Patreon.
Yes. Suckers.
Because we are comic book influencers.
I don't know if we're influencers.
Sure we are.
I think if you have a podcast that gets listened to,
We're comic book suggesters.
Sound off in the Discord if you've ever been influenced by this podcast, because I have, and now I host it.
See, everyone listening, if you are influenced enough, one day you too can host First
you'll
Issue
be
Club.
sitting in my seat.
It's generational.
Yeah, really. We're the next to go. Fuck.
We'll rock paper scissors for it after the show.
Hopefully it's not you, because then we have to find a new place to record.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna fucking field of dreams into like a cornfield and just disappear.
All right, so I read Crashdown. I don't know who Comic Tom is, but what?
It unnerves me that he has to use his moniker on the book.
Well,
He
wouldn't
can't just go by Tom so and so.
Wouldn't you be First Issue Greg?
No, because I wouldn't want to be known by something that I got. Like I should be able to stand on my own name, Tom something, whatever.
Garcia.
Tom Garcia. If I had to put air quotes Comic Tom before it to sell a comic,
Yeah.
Hey,
weird.
Weird Al does it.
Hey, Taboo does it.
No.
When was the
Whoa,
last time you saw
hold on.
Al Yankovic on
Weird
something?
Al is his character. Moving on.
Maybe he wrote this in character. I don't know. I'm on.
He's rhyming and played an accordion while he's writing this comic.
I got you, Comic Tom. Don't worry about these guys.
Yo, canon now. Mike D is a Comic Tom protector, apologist.
I haven't seen one of your videos, but hey,
Yeah, I may be fucked here pretty soon.
Yeah, that's true.
Canceled.
Yeah, watch what he says.
Women in comics, am
Yeah.
I right? Yeah.
Next episode, you had to do a full-on redaction. Hello, everyone. Last week I made.
Well, I'm going to review his comic.
Sorry.
So Crashdown, it's a lot like the other Templesmith comic I've read. A lot of sci-fi, a lot of cosmic kind of horror. Have you guys seen Event Horizon? Mm-hmm. It's Event Horizon.
Oh,
So they're on Earth and they go into cryosleep to go to this new planet to colonize a world. They wake up and there's things amiss with the ship. And then they crash on the planet and there's big monsters.
and at the end, the Statue of Liberty is buried in the sand. And
That's it. Yep.
the main character goes, "You did it, you damn dirty
Yeah.
apes, you did it."
So it's interesting that this is a massive imprint title,
Yeah.
and Sean Gordon Murphy doesn't have anything to do with it.
Nothing to do with it.
He proofread it.
And I was
He
looking
might have edited it.
at the front. I looked specifically. Massive Publishing. He is not listed anywhere on
Interesting.
Massive. So I don't know if he's just like the flagship creator for Massive.
Oh yeah, maybe it's not his imprint proper.
Yeah. So
You mean comic Sean Gordon Murphy isn't mentioned anywhere?
draws cars, Sean Gordon Murphy. So what did I think of Crashdown? I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, the flipping through it looks.
I mean,
nice.
there's some cool splash pages in here.
Yeah, I like the art.
That's the title page. Templesmith is always on point. I mean, that stuff's insane. The last reveal, the main character's got like a squiddly diddly in her leg. That's gonna be something.
But
But-
let me at least say this about it. If you're gonna say, okay, this is Event Horizon, it's Event Horizon at sea.
Yeah,
underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're-
it's like they crash land on it looks like a water planet.
yeah, yes,
That's a twist.
Like an
Yeah.
Avatar planet.
yeah, sure.
The way of water.
Yeah.
An Avatar planet.
The Navi.
One of the several Navi planets, yes.
Okay, this noob over here.
There's only one.
Do you know how many tribes there are in the Navi?
Do you?
7?
Okay, you got me.
Listen, aliens is your thing? Avatar's mine.
Avatar is yours. So I thought it was pretty good. It feels, unfortunately, like a lot of Templesmith books, that it's just going to end up as dollar bin fodder. Like, it doesn't feel groundbreaking, but it scratches an itch for me. I love this kind of sci-fi horror stuff, so I don't know.
All right, right on.
Okay, good for them.
It's a vibe.
Yeah, it's a
Check
vibe.
it out. It's a vibe.
Now we get to talk about Ghost Machine. And I know Greg
now we get to talk about Ghost Machine.
Greg has big thoughts on Ghost Machine.
For what it is, it should have been double the page count.
What do you mean for what it is?
These stories were not. This is like a taster of what Ghost Machine's going to be.
This is Ghost Machine's Devil's Cut.
Okay.
This book should have been 32 more pages to make the stories a little longer and for me to give a shit about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll explain what I think it is a connected universe.
Yep.
That's based around the initial character that Geoff Johns created.
Yep. Gieger.
Called Gieger.
The Geiger verse is what they're calling it.
And this is introducing. So this book has several new characters.
It has 3 new characters
because it's introducing 3 or 4 comic books that are going to spin out of this, right?
Right. So we've there's characters in here that we already know. Redcoat, Gieger, the robot army guy,
Junkyard
Joe, and a few others. And they introduced some new characters at the end that are like robot animal people, like Power Ranger kind of things.
Yeah.
So
the unnamed is
Yeah, it's killing me, Vargas.
I know.
Look at what you just did.
It's fine.
oh, the crease.
Oh, yeah, he just opened up a comic
At least he
book
didn't like crack it on the back
and
too. Just
slid
like
his hand down the middle to like flatten it. It's not even on the
Oh no!
centerfold.
My first appearance of the red coat.
Well, I don't know.
second. First of all, this is not the first appearance of the Redcoat.
Oh yeah, my first appearance of the first ghost.
the pig guy.
Do you have your
Swine.
phone?
Yeah,
What could you see? Is the first issue of Geiger worth anything?
it kind
Yeah,
of is.
it
It
kind
pops
of
off
is.
a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, so while Greg's looking that up, so their whole deal for Ghost Machine is this unnamed connected universe.
Can I just say,
Go ahead, pop off, King.
why call it Ghost Machine?
Oh, it's $5.
That's their company.
Their company's called Ghost Machine?
That's the collective.
Yeah,
that
that's the
this is all
distillery.
under.
Then
Okay.
yeah,
And
Because
Ghost,
I'm just saying you could put in the...
True. No, but so
There's like too many other things circling Ghost Machine. You know what I mean?
Ghost Machine is like the name of the company, and what they're doing is really cool. It's like artist owned, and like money given out directly to the artists and creators who work on the book.
Okay.
That's crackerjack. I mean, that's dynamite. So I do really respect what they're doing with the Ghost Machine collective and idea, and the camaraderie behind their pitch and all that.
yeah. So they have this whole connected universe with all these different characters and blah blah blah. It's all going to be fleshed out. That's their flagship stuff. I think, like Greg was saying. But beyond that, they also have the cover character, I suppose, is this Rook.
Rook Exodus.
I actually like this story. I thought it was. I know Greg didn't think it was.
It's not that I don't like it, but it feels like something that Image has already done with Wildcats, Wetworks, Spawn, Savage Dragon. Like they're doing this again.
Sure.
They're doing like a big collected superhero new extreme universe.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Radiant Black one got away from me fast.
They did go hog
That's
wild
another
with
thing
that.
that Image was just like, now it's a whole universe and you got spin-off series and you're just like, oh my God, it got like really, really big. And I'll say that one was like, at least they were all like different colors of radiance for a while.
Yeah.
Now they're like fully different characters.
And there was
and that's when I was like, I can't follow this anymore. It's
there
too
was big fan support for Radiant Black. Like I saw a ton of people just like, oh man, like Radiant Black is like all like that's it. I just love Radiant Black.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet for this Geigerverse stuff, but I mean,
Well, it hasn't really launched yet. Like they're restarting Gieger with a new #1. They're launching Redcoat is going to be one of their things, and then what was the other one that's launching in April?
The Northerner?
Northerner or something, or Junkyard Joe, whatever. In April, that stuff's launching.
Yep.
So then we've got
Seems like a lot. There's a lot of buy-in for this.
yeah, but then we got Rook Exodus. That's outside the connected universe.
What?
But still in?
No, it's not on the timeline.
Okay.
Why?
Not on the timeline.
Okay.
It's on a different planet, and the animals have all been genetically engineered, and these guys wear these cool animal masks, and they control the animals that their mask is of.
Okay.
So Rook controls crows, and his buddy
Swine.
Rocksteady controls pigs.
I do like crows. You follow that guy on Instagram who's like, the crows are here. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, there's this
My
guy.
grandpa?
There's this guy who feeds crows.
I follow the guy that feeds squirrels, but not the guy that feeds crows.
Yeah. I'll send you some details.
Come on,
Thanks.
those masks are bomb ass.
Yeah, those are really cool.
They're cool. I'm okay. Where do you go with there? Where do
You have
do they
the-
have them fight each other?
Yeah, you have some of the mask guys are evil, and some of the mask guys are good, and you have them fight each other.
Yeah.
I want to see the crow guy talk to the elk guy.
Totally. This is a thing that I'm into now. These characters.
Look at how hot Direwolf is.
fucking cool.
All right.
These are awesome.
This was the thing that got me excited.
Out of all that, I agree with that.
Yeah.
This new concept in
There's like the spider mask that looks dope.
the Spider-Man. Yep, he's there.
This guy's a turtle.
Bummer. Pulled the short straw on that one.
The title character controls birds.
Yeah.
Attack them.
Yeah. Yeah. But okay. And that I guess
The
this
title Rook Exodus
confusing.
makes it sound like it's a thing that exists somewhere else as a different thing already.
Like first there was Rook.
Yeah.
Like do I need to read Rook before I read Rook Exodus?
yes, yeah,
Well,
it's not
okay.
a great title.
But the plot though is Rook is the character that controls crows. Rooks are a type of corvid, which is the genus that crows and ravens are in.
Christ, here he goes.
Yikes. We get it. You're a bird guy.
I'm a big bird guy, and they're trying to
You
get.
read zoo books. We get it.
He likes Big Bird.
It's called
Attack, Big Bird.
Okay. Come here, fuckhead.
It's called Rook Exodus because they're trying to get off of the planet.
Oh.
Did you not get that from the story? They're trying to collect parts of a rocket ship to get off the planet.
You know, I'm going to be straight with everyone here and who's ever listening. I pieced out about halfway through this story when I saw what they were doing.
Dude, you should have kept going with it.
Okay.
And then there's like they have like family stuff, a new like imprint.
Yeah, so now they have like a family line of books.
yeah.
Weird.
That's in the back, and then what was the this Hyde Street thing is like their horror line, and I thought
Yeah,
that
that
looked
looks
interesting.
really sick.
Although this Hornsby and Halo from the family thing, I think might have some promise because it's like two kids and one's a demon and one's an angel, and they like get into hijinks.
Yeah. Coming next to Disney Channel.
Yeah. But Hyde Street I think has some legs. So I don't know. I will probably. I didn't really get into Gieger the first time around,
Same.
so I will probably pick up Redcoat because I like the idea of this immortal British soldier meeting.
Isn't he like a bad guy though?
Well, he's like a rogue, like a lovable scamp who's like just out for himself.
He's the main character from
He's been alive
Serenity.
previous to.
1776.
He became immortal in 1776.
Oh, okay, got it.
And he tells a story in the book about meeting like Einstein as a 14-year-old and meeting Calamity Jane and all like historical figures.
Okay.
So I think that sounds, I don't know, like it could be potentially fun. And Rook is the thing that is really exciting for me. First Ghost, I think, is about literally a ghost president. And I'm not.
Okay. Hold on. Full stop. That sounds great. Or the first ghost ever in the world.
No.
He's just like wandering around by himself.
They have like a breakdown of like the lady from First Ghost. And I think it's either
The president?
this is the president, President Sarah Nash. Her first appearance will be in First Ghost #1. She does not appear in this book.
She's right there.
She's right here. But
Promotions are not cameos or first appearances.
So the people that got their previews slabbed for
Yeah,
Miles Morales.
You're a fucking joker.
I think it's either her or her husband that are going to be the first Ghost.
I love that idea.
Of course you do.
That is the right amount of juice that I'm looking for to get me peaked in a comic book.
I think the right way to look at this is that there's a handful of different comics coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy them as you will.
Yeah.
But marketed this way, it seems like, hey, obviously we started this conversation comparing it to like Radiant Black Supermassive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it doesn't seem like it's that, right?
Well, their flagship thing is the Unnamed. So that's Gieger.
Which is the Geiger verse.
Geiger, Red Coat,
Junkyard Joe.
The
Northerner. All
So
that.
those
bullshit.
things
they're all in the
exist
same
universe.
Yes.
and will talk to each other and be even that first Ghost, American Widow X, the Monster. I don't know what all that stuff is.
Yeah.
But it's all on a timeline. They all exist together. Geiger is going to kiss Red Coat at some point.
We can only hope.
So that's their flagship thing. That's
okay.
going to be what they're pushing.
Got it.
Outside of that, they have the Rook. So maybe the Rook gets on his ship and he goes through a black hole.
The Rook seems like
And
a
now
Void
he's on
Rivals thing to me. Of just
Yeah.
like, they're going to be like, oh, we achieved the Exodus. And when they arrive on Geiger Planet, they're just like, no!
What? Now we have to kiss Geiger.
Who's this ghost president?
My birds came with me.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
So that's Ghost Machine.
Then it is Ghost Machine. Ba-dum-bum.
Now that we've talked about it, Greg, are you revising your thoughts at all?
I went on so many ups and downs during that conversation as to like whether I was excited about any of it or wasn't. I am just come out the other side as confused, and I think I am going to buy the Rook comics though, because the idea sounds cool.
The problem is I wasn't excited when I read Geiger the first time.
Yeah.
That wasn't really for me.
So when I found out they were expanding that universe, I was like, okay. And like I remember being like, seeing the first time I saw Junkyard Joe, I was like, oh, that's a cool idea. And then I found out it was like a set in the Geigerverse thing. I was like, oh, then I don't want this at all. Yeah. Like it almost tainted other books that were around it. I was like, I don't want any of that. So, all right.
Well, that's Ghost Machine.
Geiger fans, you're eaten. So congratulations.
True. Although I hope they do another glow in the dark cover, because that glow in the dark cover for Geiger 1 was sick as hell.
Yeah, keep those up. Those are cool. I also read Al Ewing's Resurrection of Magneto, and I probably shouldn't have, because it was a lot of exposition, like a lot of stuff. And I've been off X-Men books for a hot minute, and all of it was a little confusing.
Can I say real quick, just to interject?
Yeah.
How did we have Jonathan Hickman writing X-Men and not get a book called Exposition?
That's funny.
He wasn't on there long enough.
That's a good bit, though, right?
Yeah, it is pretty good. Yeah.
A potential tweet lost to time.
Just forever.
Mm-hmm. It's called an X now?
You just missed your window.
That's another thing. Yeah. So what I'm really saying is I'm excited to see Mike D read Resurrection of Magneto.
Oh, see if I like it.
And then maybe, we can see what happens.
Okay.
A lot of storm. Lots of storm in this.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he died in the midst of X-Men Red as a kind of...
in the coolest ass way possible.
Regent to Araco. Really awesome storyline.
Okay.
So, a lot of mutual respect between Storm and Magneto at this point.
Do they kiss?
No.
Vargas always wanting his comic character.
There's kissing, but not between Storm and Magneto.
Pushing his pages together.
Kiss. Kiss, Geiger.
Yes.
Kiss yourself.
Kiss Rook's birds.
Oh my gosh. And that's all I read.
Okay.
I read those. I was so bummed out from those two things. I was like, I'm done reading comics for today. Folded my phone, put it away.
All right. Well, I went months back to read a book that we did not cover, I don't believe, out on AWA. Red Light
Oh yeah.
is like an erotic thriller.
So there's kissing.
So there is kissing. This is
You gotta
a
pay to play.
this is a
Oh, but she's a robot. Oh, I've heard of this book.
future scenario thing wherein you've got like a red light district, but in the future, sex workers are kind of replaced with androids. And
This book was really good.
it was really, you read it?
I read it, but we never talked about it.
Yeah, it was really interesting. You follow this one android in particular who is working on her birthday, and she is one of the first, if not the first android that is programmed to have empathy. So she takes her job or like any violence that comes her way as like, you know, this person had a rough upbringing, or like, I feel so sorry for like whatever happened to this person that made them the way they are. And she's trapped in this awful sex work thing, but I think is only programmed to have like so much self-awareness or cognitive ability for her situation, whatever. But then she meets a little girl who's also living in this like brothel and finds out she's human. And at that point, because again, she's got empathy for the people she meets, but she's never met
Good people.
a little girl like who's an innocent before. She's only meeting the men who come through. So at that point, she's like, I'm going to do fucking something about this. And that's where the first issue ends.
Yeah.
It's while you could look at this book through a lot of different lenses. I think it is really heady. It's written by a pair of women, so it's not male gazy at all. It feels like a commentary on sex work, a commentary on sexual violence, a commentary on, you know, feminism and liberation of women. It's doing a lot of stuff. And I always love when you get these comics that look like, you know, the cover is like very male gazy, and then you get inside the comic and it's like feminism.
Yeah, gotcha.
Like, so yeah, exactly right.
There was medicine in that cheese.
Yeah, I think it's a very accessible sci-fi read, and it makes you like this is the art of first issues at its finest, where they make you really feel for and know this character really quickly without a ton of exposition, just through like a lot of her interactions and a little bit of internal dialogue. And by the end of it, you are just like, fuck yeah, like let's go on this ride that this comic's about to take me on. I'm like very excited about it.
Yeah. So like this book and like Lovesick and a couple other books that came out in 2023 have really opened this conversation about what is consent.
Yeah.
And this book takes it to another level because it's an android.
But we're commenting on like thinking of women as things.
Yeah, exactly.
And it also gets to the point where like this person has empathy. So they have real feelings. They have this android can feel pain.
Yes.
And it's like, why program this thing to feel pain?
Exactly.
Because you like it.
Yes.
Like, and that's fucked up. The idea of wanting to make something hurt. This is also doing a thing wherein it is the androids are being constructed more and more with like, 3D printed organs and all this stuff that is making them a step closer to just like they might as well be
real,
like real organic people at this point. But everyone feels better about treating them like they're things because they've been othered in this certain way, right?
Yeah.
And, how long have women all over the world been put in a category of other to a lot of industries and in a lot of,
societies.
Society. So, I really do think this is a wonderful comic, and it does a lot in the little room that it has in between these, like 32 pages. So it's a big recommend from me. But again, erotic thriller, you need to be a fan of that genre to like this comic. Sexual violence, you have to know that that's going to happen in here. So trigger warnings about reading this comic book. But if you can handle that stuff, I'm really excited I just back ordered
The rest of it
because this book did come out a couple months ago. So the rest of it, or almost all of the rest, it's only a 4-issue series, so an easy one to read through.
Yeah.
And I don't think this book necessarily like sold like hotcakes either. So you could probably walk into your comic shop and still pick up the first issue as a back issue. So
they'd love to see you.
Big time recommend on Red Light.
AWA, man. Sometimes they just knock them out of the park.
Yeah, there's something I really like about AWA in that they do a lot of prestige feeling stuff because it's proven writers or people, even the new writers who are like coming to comics for the first time, like have a history in some sort of arena that makes them like, it'd be interesting to read what that person did with sci-fi because they're, a writer in some other realm. And they're all like kind of minis. So you can hop in and hop out of a full and complete story. That means they don't have to be written like a very traditional comic that gets like strung out forever and ever in a very like soap opera-y, never ending sort of way.
Yeah.
So they can be, AWA has a lot of like good entry points for newer readers or readers who want something with a little more oomph.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely more of like I don't want to say grittier, but it's definitely just like in the shadows type stories, and like they're told stories of like people on the fringe or like that lead kind of like harder lives. So if you're into that kind of genre or storytelling, that's like the best place to go to read it.
As soon as some movie studio like picks up their first book, Sins of the Salton Sea, or Alex Garland gets Red Light, it's going to be incredible, and people are going to be snapping this stuff up.
Hell yeah! The only other first that I read is something that Vargas covered last week or the week before, which was Pine and Merrimack.
It was a good book.
Our pal Kyle Starks wrote this one, and I really liked it. If you didn't catch the first episode, just really quick, it's a husband-wife private eye group, and they're just solving crimes around their small town.
Yep.
And someone comes to them with a missing persons case, which they normally don't take, but it struck a chord with the wife of the pair, who is kind of the brains of the operation, and the husband is the muscle, because she had a sister who disappeared and they found murdered. So you're going to have some personal stuff going on there, maybe even a chance that they find the murderer of this kid, who's the murderer of her
the
sister like long ago or something, or this is like some ongoing thing that's been happening. So really interesting comic, I think, that's got some good legs to stand on.
The thing
I like Private Eye stuff.
The thing I walked away with mostly about this book was that it felt so much like a TV show.
Yeah.
Like
good pilot of a show.
Yeah, like
Rizzoli and Isles.
Yeah, I mean something, whatever. Remington Steele.
Yeah. Bip and Bop.
Yeah. To its credit, right? Not like slamming it in any way. Like it felt, these are characters that you could easily see people investing in, like in a TV show.
Totally. A lot of fun. That's it for me.
We did it.
We did it again. Every time.
Like Mike D said, if you want more of First Issue Club, go to patreon.com/First Issue Club. We're on all social medias. Look out for future content. We're going to Planet Comic Con and C2E2 in a couple months. We'll have a bunch of extra stuff on our main feeds and on the Patreon feed. You don't want to miss out on those. Vargas has been putting our episodes up on the YouTube.
Yep.
For all you listeners that like to watch, you can watch us do the show right now that you're listening to. So head on over there. And until next week, bye-bye.